the U.S. has successfully tested its first hypersonic missile, marking a significant leap forward in the field of weapon technology. But what exactly is a hypersonic weapon, and why should we care? Is this the beginning of a new arms race, or a necessary step to keep up with the times? Join us as we explore the world of hypersonic missiles, and what this latest development means for the future of warfare. In today's world, having a strong military is crucial for any country's security, and one of the most important aspects of military strength is having a powerful arsenal. One of the newest and most exciting additions to any military arsenal are hypersonic weapons. These cutting-edge weapons travel at speeds greater than Mach 5, making them extremely difficult to track and intercept. In fact, some hypersonic weapons are so advanced that they can even fly backwards at hypersonic speeds. The U.S. hypersonic missile is one such example. This missile is capable of flying in any direction at hypersonic speeds, making it an extremely dangerous weapon for any potential adversary. But why is the U.S. developing this technology now? You might think that this is just another example of the U.S. military's never-ending quest for more advanced weapons. However, there are some specific threats that have driven the need for this technology. The main threat is China. The Chinese have been developing their own hypersonic weapons, and have recently tested a hypersonic missile that was capable of flying at Mach 10. This missile was not only fast but also maneuverable, which made it even more difficult to track and intercept. For the U.S., this was a wake-up call. They realized that they needed to develop their own hypersonic weapons in order to keep up with the advancements in technology. Not only would this allow them to maintain their military superiority, but it would also serve as a deterrent against any potential attacks from China or any other country with hypersonic weapons. Now you might be wondering, what makes hypersonic weapons so special? Well, the answer lies in their speed and altitude capabilities. Traditional missiles travel at supersonic speeds, which is between Mach 1 and Mach 5. However, hypersonic missiles can travel at speeds greater than Mach 5, which is about 3,800 miles per hour, or 6,100 kilometers per hour. To put that into perspective, that's about 3 times the speed of sound. It is this speed that makes them so deadly, because it gives them the ability to travel across continents in a matter of minutes. This means that a country with hypersonic weapons can strike any target in the world within minutes, which is a scary thought indeed. There are 2 types of hypersonic weapons: boost glide and boost glide weapons are delivered via rocket boosters. After reaching a certain altitude, the rocket separates from the glider, which then uses its momentum to glide towards its target. Scramjets, on the other hand, use a combination of air and fuel to create thrust, and they can travel at even higher speeds than boost glide weapons. Currently, both Russia and China have deployed small numbers of hypersonic weapons in their militaries. Russia SKH-47M. 2 Kinzel is a boost glide weapon that can travel at speeds of up to Mach 10. China, on the other hand, has several hypersonic weapons in development, including the DF-17, which is a boost glide weapon, and the CJ-10, which is a scramjet-powered weapon. The Chinese have also tested a hypersonic aircraft called the SR-71, which is similar to America's Senior 71 Blackbird. To understand how these weapons work, we need to take a closer look at the technology behind the speed. Traveling at such high speeds generates a tremendous amount of heat. In fact, a hypersonic missile can reach temperatures of up to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,650 degrees Celsius. That's about 10 times hotter than the surface of the sun. To withstand these extreme temperatures, hypersonic missiles are made from special high-temperature materials such as carbon fiber reinforced silicon carbide. These materials are not only strong and lightweight, but they can also withstand extreme heat. Additionally, active cooling systems are used to keep the missile's internal components cool enough for the electronic systems to function properly. These systems use a coolant, usually a special type of oil, to absorb heat from the missile's body and then release it outside the missile. Engineering a hypersonic missile is a complex and challenging process. Not only does it require advanced materials and cooling systems, but it also needs a powerful propulsion system. Traditional jet engines simply won't cut it when it comes to propelling a hypersonic missile. Instead, special scramjet engines are used. Scramjet engines use the air that is forced into them at hypersonic speeds to create thrust. As the air flows through the engine, it is compressed and mixed with fuel before being ignited. This produces a large amount of thrust that can propel a hypersonic missile to incredible speeds. However, these engines are only efficient at hypersonic speeds, which means that they cannot be used for low-speed flight. Ramjet engines are another type of engine that is used in hypersonic missiles. Unlike scramjets, ramjet engines use a rotating fan to compress the air and create thrust. These engines are more efficient at lower speeds than scramjets, but they still require high speeds to operate efficiently. The biggest challenge in developing hypersonic engines is creating an engine that is both efficient and reliable. Engines that can operate at hypersonic speeds are extremely complex and prone to failure. Additionally, these engines must be able to withstand the extreme temperatures and forces generated during hypersonic flight. Despite these challenges, significant progress has been made in recent years and several countries are close to developing efficient and reliable hypersonic engine. You may be wondering why all this secrecy surrounding hypersonic missiles. Why don't countries just come out in the open with their technology? There are many reasons why countries develop and test hypersonic weapons in secret. First and foremost, it's about gaining a technological edge over potential adversaries. By keeping their development under wraps, countries can prevent others from knowing about their capabilities and limitations. This allows them to surprise their enemies and gives them an advantage in a potential conflict. Another reason for secrecy is to avoid triggering an arms race. Hypersonic weapons are seen as a potential game changer in warfare, and countries are wary of provoking others to start a costly and dangerous competition. If one country develops a hypersonic weapon, others may feel compelled to do the same, leading to a potential arms race. Secrecy also helps countries avoid international scrutiny and criticism. Some countries may see hypersonic weapons as a violation of international norms and agreements. By keeping their developments secret, countries can avoid any negative repercussions and continue their research and development efforts without interference. Finally, secrecy is also about protecting sensitive information from falling into the wrong hands. Hypersonic weapons are highly advanced and sophisticated, and there is a lot of sensitive information involved in their development. If this information falls into the wrong hands, it could compromise the country's national security. Therefore, keeping their development secret helps countries protect their valuable assets. Increased difficulty in defense. Current missile defense systems are designed to intercept and destroy missiles that travel at slower speeds. Hypersonic missiles travel so fast that they can overwhelm current defense systems. This means that a country with hypersonic weapons could potentially launch a surprise attack that is difficult, impossible to defend against. Additionally, hypersonic weapons are often maneuverable, making them harder to track and intercept. Some hypersonic weapons can make sharp turns and sudden changes in direction, which makes it more difficult for defense systems to lock onto them and fire accurately. This maneuverability allows these weapons to evade detection and interception, making them more dangerous than traditional weapons. Furthermore, hypersonic weapons are often equipped with countermeasures that are designed to confuse and deceive defense systems. These countermeasures can include electronic jammers, decoys, and flares, which make it harder for defense systems to distinguish between the real weapon and the decoys. This confusion can lead to wasted resources and missed intercepts, making it more difficult to defend against a hypersonic weapon attack. Deterrence and arms race. The development of hypersonic weapons by one country can trigger an arms race, where other countries feel compelled to develop their own hypersonic weapons to keep up. This can lead to a situation where multiple countries have hypersonic weapons, increasing the risk of their use in a conflict. Additionally, the development of hypersonic weapons can lead to a deterioration in strategic stability between countries. When countries are engaged in a hypersonic arms race, it can lead to a buildup of these weapons and a heightened state of alert. This can increase the risk of accidental or unauthorized use of these weapons, potentially leading to a catastrophic outcome. So what does the future hold for hypersonic weapons? It is possible that hypersonic missiles could revolutionize the way warfare is conducted. The ability to travel at such high speeds and maneuverability could make them a powerful tool on the battlefield. However, it is also important to consider the ethical and legal implications of developing and using hypersonic weapons. There are concerns that these weapons could be used indiscriminately, causing harm to civilians and damaging civilian infrastructure. Additionally, there is a risk that hypersonic weapons could be used to deliver biological or chemical weapons, which would have devastating consequences. As hypersonic weapons become more advanced and sophisticated, there is a need for international cooperation and regulation to ensure that they are used responsibly. This includes developing international laws and treaties that govern the development, testing, and use of hypersonic weapons. It is also important to promote transparency and information sharing among countries to build trust and reduce the risk of an arms race. Additionally, there is a need for robust monitoring and verification mechanisms to ensure that countries comply with international agreements on hypersonic weapons. This could involve developing advanced tracking and surveillance systems to monitor the development and deployment of these weapons. In conclusion, hypersonic weapons represent a significant advancement in military technology with the potential to revolutionize warfare. While these weapons offer various tactical and strategic advantages, it is crucial to approach their development and use responsibly by promoting international cooperation, establishing clear legal and ethical boundaries, and investing in robust monitoring and verification mechanisms. The international community can harness the benefits of hypersonic technology while mitigating the associated risks. Ensuring a stable and secure future requires collective efforts to maintain peace and prevent an escalation of the arms race. Let us hope that wisdom and prudence guide the decisions of nations as they navigate the challenges and opportunities presented by this new frontier in weaponry. Thank you for watching. Please like and share. If you found this video helpful, stay tuned for more informative content. Thank you.